My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Hearthstone. We're going to be playing the Dalaran Heist. We're actually going to be doing the Dalaran Bank rather than Chapter 3 here at this point in time, just because in Heroic, I've apparently not beaten the Dalaran Bank, probably largely related to the fact that I wasn't playing Heroic for a while because I didn't necessarily know there was one. Alright, let's go for it. So we've also got the anomaly of 2 less cost for each spell. So the obvious thing to do is something we've done before, right? Go as Shaman, look for any spell that has Echo and costs 2 or less, right? Echo or repeatable this turn, right? Because repeatable this turn is... Echo? Not exactly the same, but Echo? In the same way that Battle Cry can't attack heroes this turn, has charge, is kind of Rush, but not exactly. Or we could just go Mage. We could go for like a combo caster build. We could play Hunter. We could try and go for a, what do they call it again? Lock and load builds? Although I've never gotten offered lock and load as an option, which was one of the big problems that I ran into when I was trying to run a similar type build before. Lock and load was just not offered in any of the buckets. I don't necessarily I don't necessarily know, rather, whether it's an option in any of the buckets for the Hunter. I could play one of the new characters as well. I could play Priest with buffs. Actually seems like a good idea. Let's do that. Well, at the very least, the base deck is the buff deck, so... Good thing there.
She's always switching cards.
Okay, so due to the switching of cards, I pretty much just want to mill my spells out of my hand, because if the enemy takes them, the enemy will just play them immediately, because their spells cost 2 less as well.
Must fly again. Another busy day. Next in line.
The deck is actually quite small at this point. I'm gonna wager that I draw Northshire Cleric either now, and I didn't, or now. Well, that counts. That'll have to work. It's a good minion. You can take the Squashling all you like. I'm not interested. Oh, it swaps back into the deck. I keep mistaking Murray Loom for one of the other characters. The one that actually swaps cards back and forth, although I think that's Wendy the Alchemist. Yeah, go for it. Oh. Well, at least they've done that now rather than later. Does Priest have Echo spells? None that I can think of. Extra arms would be 0 if only the buffs for that had gone through. I don't really want to throw extra arms back though.
Taking your time.
More arms. Want more wings.
I'm gonna kill that minion and then double coin, develop the amalgam here. So the enemy's not able to swap my cards at all.
Oh, guess the line's done.
Uh-huh. And that's a lethal. Beautiful. All works out in the end. Alright, so we will mainly want to pick buffs, but we do have to have minions to attach those buffs to. Arcane Elemental is fine for that. Quite good. So is the Northshire.
Taboo's remote. Be pushing shiny button and keep pushing it.
Alright. Well, there's a pretty clear problem here, isn't there? The Robes of Gaudiness are garbage here. They're usually, apparently, like an S tier in the treasures, and in my own time when I've taken them, that is to say on my European account, when I've taken Robes of Gaudiness, I've not managed to lose at all. But specifically due to the fact that I also have Anomaly Arcane, and I have a fair couple of spells in this deck already, and there's not that large of any minions in this deck. In fact, our highest cost thing is 4, being the Shifting Shade, considering that Holy Nova is 3. Robes of Gaudiness doesn't actually seem as effective as it otherwise might be. Dr. Boom's Remote at the start of the game, summon 3 1/1 Boombots. That gives me minions to target with spells, but those minions aren't necessarily the minions that I want to hit with Divine Spirit nor Inner Fire. Scepter of Summoning, I have to wait a while until it's effective for me. And is there like a big priest archetype? There is, but it's based around Resurrection, right? And cheating out big minions early and then just constantly resurrecting those big minions using spells like Resurrect, Eternal Servitude, Mass Resurrection, Lesser Diamond Spell Zone, Upgraded, etc., right? Onyx Bishop as well. But if I want to play any minions at the start of the game so that I can maintain board control, I'm not necessarily going to be able to benefit from that. I'm going to go with Dr. Boom's Remote. It'll give me some minions on board to actually buff. You really? Well, now, obviously, I'm pretty sad that I didn't take... Because, look, double Archthief Reform, double Cthulhu. Obviously, now I'm a little bit saddened that I didn't take the prior mounted option. What was it called again? Scepter of Summoning, right. So I've just got to choose highest value here. I suspect I'm not going to be taking Silence, and Shrinkmeister. Despite the fact that they're quite good minions, I do want things that can win me games. Archthief Reform. I mean, the artifacts that Archthief Reform gives you are, I believe, all spells. So those will have their costs adjusted from 10 down to 8. 10 down to 8 is not that impactful though, right? Brand Bondsbeard would be good if I could also have that in my Cthulhu pack. I think I'm going to take the Cthulhu pack. I did not know that that there were still Cthulhu decks out here. And yes, I am saying the C in Cthulhu. It's just, it's buried, right?
Kriziki versus Nisi.
I've said so many things wrong over the course of this series so far, but as per my standard, approach to that kind of thing, I have doubled down, and now I will say those things wrong eternally and worse. That's less about being petty and more about discouraging pedantry.
Is someone injured?
Hey.
I'll take you down with me.
Well, at least I've got the kill and then the heal on myself. So starting with those boombots on the field, at the very least that does mean on turn 2, 100% of the time I have the capability of killing the Cache of Cash. That's not one of the things I'm saying wrong, by the way. It's not pronounced cash everywhere. It's also apparently pronounced cache to a lot of people as well, but I'm gonna go with Cache of Cash. You could have just bopped me down to half HP. Why'd you not do that? Boom, go boom, go boom. Now, I've got 2 giant Cthulhus in this deck, which don't even get you minions. Which does mean that if I get to the tavern and the tavern has that lucky dip that changes the cost of one of your cards in your deck to 0, I could hit Cthulhu. That would be pretty wild. Okay, that's still alive at the very least. Good. I was just hovering over the Cache of Cash there just to make sure that it was still alive. Yeah. Of course the enemy has the Squashling. I may just Holy Nova here. Because it's not like they have that many more cards in hand. Awesome. It's actually funny, I have 2 Cthulhus here, and in a deck that I was playing in my own time recently, I had 2 Yogg-Saron's, as well as just a ridiculous amount of spells. I had like 5 preparations, and I had 10 hallucinations shuffled into the deck at the very start of the game due to the anomaly hallucinations. And then in two consecutive taverns, I got the option to reduce the card in my deck to 0, and it hit a Yogg-Saron. It was ridiculous, but then in the final match, all of this happened off camera, by the way, so I do apologize for that a little bit, but it happens. I think it's actually like a better shot at lethal to try and do this. Damn. But eventually, when I managed to get to the final boss, I played both of the Yogg-Sarons, and both of them killed themselves immediately. Well, actually, one of them silenced itself. So I do want to heal as much HP as I am capable of doing, right? Because I'm still trying to unlock the hero powers in Heroic for this class. Right, so that's 12 healing. What's the other one? It was healing, amount, and it's probably spells played, so I probably should have just popped out both of those coins there. Ooh, double Zola. Interesting. Interesting. We're not really benefiting from Anomaly Arcane anymore, but double Zola does give me the ability to bring back a Disciple of Thune into my hand, bring back Thune itself. I don't know if that's necessarily what I want to go for here, though. Ideally, Grave Horror would be an easy card for us to cast, right? Priest of the Feast is a nice way for us to heal here at the very least. Yeah, I think we'll go with Miracles here. Hopefully to try and incentivize the game to give me a couple more along those lines. I'm not super keen on fighting the great Akazamzarak here, because they are a small mage deck. So them with extra spells with low cost? Not good. I've been beaten by Akazamzarak in Heroic before, and it was a bad time.
Step right up.
What an awful Emperor. At the very least, I have extra arms on turn 1. Unfortunately, it has to hit a minion that doesn't do anything. At least now. Ooh. Having 3 minions on board and 2 extra arms in the deck with Anomaly is good. It's really good. I can very, very quickly have a large board.
But it still bites. It's a bunny.
1 out of 3, and you managed to hit my good minion. Well done. Absolute
Just
annoyance.
for you, my lovely audience.
Destroy my minions? Just one of them. Okay. So if I want any of my spells to be counted here, it's got to be Divine Spirit. Alright, fine. I mean, the enemy's not going to have any energy problems at all, ever, right? So I just kill Cache of Cash so that I can get my own Grave Horror out earlier.
Sometimes I astound myself.
Into each player's deck, okay. That could be awful. Or it could be great. There's no reason to play Holy Nova here. So if I attack each of these minions and then double coin gets me up to 5. Grave Horror reduces its cost by... No. Okay, so I can't play the Grave Horror this turn anyway. So that means I'm definitely going for more arms. And probably a heal. So then you attack there, I'll heal that, and then go for more arms on the other target for the face. This is the best damage output. Yourself?
Have you ever seen something so amazing? I think not.
cards are getting cheaper.
Reduce the cost of all spells in both players' hands and deck to 1. Or by 1, sorry. This one can get the Grave Horror out this turn, right? Attack across coin. Ah, it does have to be a double coin. That's fine. I should also kill this minion, actually. Just due to the fact that the enemy has 2 extra spells in their hand right now. And they generate a magical feat, which is typically a spell. Lethal on board unless the opponent does something. Nice. Lethal on board unless the opponent does something here. Nothing? Hey. Whew. With that, and then I'll heal myself, and then we can go face, right? As many spells cast as possible, as much healing done as possible. We can end the map. Okay, so that's our second fight. Which means we've got one more fight until we get our first bartender.
Oh, Untold Splendor is random. Otherwise, it'd be told.
We can take the Muscle, we can take Boom Boomba, or we can go exploring to El Toldorado, the lost city of Told. Extra treasures in the deck is fine. But I think I might need just more extra value earlier. They do cost 0 across the board, though. Destroy all minions, do it again at the start of your next turn. That means that we can't necessarily build a board, but with 2 Cthunes in the deck, and hopefully more after this, or rather more buffs for the Cthunes after this, so they actually become effective. Maybe that's actually just great. Maybe it is great. I haven't tried it. Ooh. Surrender to Madness on turn 1 is ridiculous. Is it? Not in this deck. Yeah, just old gods again, thank you. Friendly encounter already?
Full of despicable characters. Watch your candles.
Alright, well, we're probably going to get a Cthulhu out on board, so we have to think, do we want to add 3 more Cthunes to the deck? Probably not. If we do get, like, the Disciple of Cthulhu, then we definitely want 3 more of those. So the gang's all here on that card. Ooh, Disciple Cthune's out here, and new. We do not have right cards for that one. Mojo Master Zihi, set each player's mana crystals to 5. Law Walker, committing. Yeah, none of these are super interesting. Also, Reckless Experiment is about to be nerfed because of the snip snap thing.
Take your time. Enjoy the atmosphere.
Costing 2 more for the run, +4/+4. So if +4/+4 is 6/5, so I could have an 8 mana 2/6/5s that restore HP, assuming that the Tall Tales buff persists between echoes, which I imagine it does. Not necessarily the kind of thing that I'm interested in doing, though. Choose an enemy minion, add it to your adventure deck. I think I may want to Brood. Yeah, I think I want to Brood. None of these are really that good for us right now. Do I want to just remove Squashling from the deck? Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Alright, hopefully the enemy gives me some Cthulhu buffs here so that I can take those. No. 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 But, Malagos. Do we have any spell damage in the deck? We have Holy Nova. It's all we're ever going to have. Yeah, it's probably not worth it then. This costing 3 mana and being a 6/5 and in my opening hand is pretty good.
Some of these tales are so crazy, they're true. Now shake on it.
Sure. Especially if I just mill out a bunch of spells on it after that. The Amazing Bone Pour. Cast a random spell that was cast this game, targets chosen randomly. Alright, well, I can't really just hold off on all of my spells, otherwise I'm just giving up most of my effective deck at this point in time. Eventually this deck becomes an Old Gods deck, but it's currently not. It just doesn't have enough buffs.
Must fly again. Oh, the bad guys are here.
But for that reason, I don't hold off on playing spells. But I will want to try and play coins as some of those spells, just so that the hero power oftentimes is awful, right? It'll only get my opponent 1 mana for the cost of 2 mana. I play the extra arms this turn because I know that the enemy can't mimic that. Oh, really? Ooh. Neat. So enemy's already played 2 spells. Not too terrified here. This is gonna be good though. Coin, Arcane Anomaly, coin. More arms, please. Hell, even Divine Spirit you.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Anyone want to find me an inner fire here? Oh, please. I really wanted them to waste that. Oh, I need to be attacking the face. Beckon is great here.
Are you my master?
Get to actually play another minion. Ooh. Nice removal. I'm shaking him a little booties. Put it Acolyte. Whenever a character is healed, give your Cthulhu +1/+1 wherever it is. See if this takes out the secondary minion for us. It doesn't, but it does maximum damage to face, and I appreciate it, frankly.
I'm making a mental note of this one.
I'm really glad I gave that minion so much HP. What are you gonna do to him, right? It's perfect. This is the big problem, right? All of these Cthulhu's we can't play.
Outsider.
That said, the Dr. Boombots have also been really good for us, so it's always grass is greener on the other side. We don't know if necessarily, although I have a suspicion, which was going to be better for us. Xeric Master Cloner. Well, I can play Xeric and then immediately buff it with another extra arms. My god. Grave Horror's only getting better as I get more copies of extra arms, because I only include 1 more card in my deck, but I got 2 more spell casts for only 2 mana. It's also the best opening is what? The Arcane Elemental as soon as I can get it out, plus more arms constantly. If the enemy doesn't have like an insta-kill or a transformation effect, they lose. And we can confirm that half of that will go off constantly because the Arcane Anomaly is in our opening hand. Arcane Anomaly, Arcane Anomaly, Arcane Anomaly. It's one of the elementals that doesn't have elemental as its last name. You can see where I'm getting confused. Hopefully. Okay. Yours is whenever a player plays a card, a coin play a card. Draw a card, rather.
Give me more, give me more.
Are you my master?
Alright, see if I can remove this easily. That'll do. I can give the enemy 2 coins right now, but I don't need to do that right now. If I want to, I can just do it next turn. Got 2 different ways to deal 3 damage, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah, good. So I locked them effectively out of that turn by not giving them that. Now I'll take my coins, and I'll even draw the cards for the enemy. Whatever. Like I care, right? I really want more arms on the Arcane Anomaly, but there's no reason in particular to choose that minion. I'll buff the minion with the highest remaining HP right now.
This way.
Just in case of some AoE clear.
Give me a quest.
You're not gonna just coin after that? I don't know about that. Pretty sure that one was big old Mr. Key. Most people say mistake, but I'll count it. This is one problem with Big Boomba, is we do have control over the board the majority of the time.
Give me a quest.
Which is such a problem. Zarek. Damage. Sorry, double HP.
This way. Right away.
And now Zarek can't be cleared without a silence.
Coin for card, card for coin. Ooh, most so smart.
I would have done that earlier if I were you.
Who's ready to make some money?
Alright, we're fine here. Spells and healing. Destroy all minions. I don't want to do that.
Blessed be this.
Or do I? Hang on. Can I set my enemy up for lethal? Yes.
Right away.
Then I want to heal you, and then Big Boomba. Got him.
Where's my cat?
So our bots are going to destroy the enemy. So I get my healing off. Hey, yeah. Rocket Boots would actually be a surprisingly good treasure for us. Well, there's Scepter of Summoning. See, that's why I didn't take it earlier, because I knew I was going to get it now. We're locked into Old Gods now. Let's go.
Oh, my wretched hive of villainy. Very cozy.
A more wretched hive of scum and villainy could not be found. Again, along with all of the other quotes that I've said in this series so far, it's probably misquoted. If only I could be so grossly
Welcome to my tavern.
incandescent.
Enjoy your stay.
Grossly. Always keep saying that one wrong. Round of drinks. Add all enemy minions to your deck. They gain a +1/+1 for this round. Obsidian Statue is great. I mean, especially great for us, right? Cthulhu is obviously good. Ozruk? I mean, Ozruk is a 5 mana 6/6 with
We get all
taunt.
types around here.
Not that bad. And a 4/5 Cabal Talon Priest on 3 is really good. Round of drinks is pretty great here. Tell me a story. I mean, if I could hit that on a Cthulhu, I would do that, but I can't, so I won't. And tell me a story, or rather tell a story, and then Gangs All Here does not shuffle minions with the buff into your deck, so keep that in mind. It feels like I should probably drop one of these, maybe Crazed Worshipper, because I have so many high-cost cards in my deck. The Crazed Worshipper costs 5, but so does Obsidian Statue, so does Cthulhu. And Crazed Worshipper doesn't necessarily get us that many buffs. It's one of the worst Cthulhu buff cards. So I probably dismiss that, take the round of drinks. Yeah, there's a bad Ozruk in there, but everything else is really good. And then Gangs All Here, my Beckoner of Evil to get some more buffs.
Order up.
That's really good. So we didn't get the possibility of changing the cost of a card randomly at all, sadly.
Safe travels.
Still pretty pleased with it, though.
Fancy adventurer wearing shiny loots as armor. Not fair to loots.
Is this the one that buffs based on golden status? Valdera Highborn. Valdera, sorry. Valdera. Oh, this is gonna be you can only take 1 damage at a time, right? Which is perfect for Cthulhu. Starting with an extra mana crystal would have been really good for our opening, but obviously we save far more mana in the long run with the Scepter of Summoning. Alright. Impervious. Your hero can only take up to 3 damage at a time. Yeah,
Is
makes
someone
sense.
injured?
Shields up. Red alert.
It is really likely that I don't know the decks yet, right? It is really likely that that secret there is the resummon. So I'm going to try and kill the Cache of Cash first.
Right away.
It is. Oh no, it just returns the hand. All right. It seemed likely it would have been the resummon just because Divine Shield minions resummon with the Divine Shield intact, which is obviously incredible.
You wish to live forever?
Sure. That extra draw power is pretty important. If I can keep it on the board, I'll keep it on the board. Enemy's probably not going to play the Cache of Cash if I had to guess. Unless I get really unlucky here, I don't think I care that that happened. Nope. Unless I get really unlucky here, I don't care what just happened. Good to see, good to see. So each of those was a 50-50 and neither of them managed to hit the mini shielded bot at all. That's unfortunate. Just gonna do this to give myself some early board control. Severely overpaid for it. Oh, the enemy will play the Cache of Cash. That's interesting. Bad, but interesting. Osrook actually does get the buff from Arcane Anomaly. I hadn't even thought about that. Well, my minions are getting real big, but they can't really necessarily do much. 3 damage at a time. All right, let's go.
Oh, were you trying?
Oh, really?
I barely felt a thing.
Mm-hmm. To say that in a couple more turns' time. Back remove evil. Great drop there for us. I don't need to give the enemy the coins, and I don't necessarily want to use them this turn myself either.
Not today, swine.
Should I heal up or trade off Osrook? Ooh, you've only got 1 minion in hand. Neat. Helpful for me. I'm actually not going to heal up Osrook. Just because I want to get Xeric plus the buff out this turn.
This way. Right away.
And I'll maintain the other morons just in case Xeric does die here. I suspect that's unlikely, right? Equality, Consecrate, Pyromancer Equality. Those are the only really likely things to do that. We still have, I think, 5 Cthunes in this deck right now. God, it'd be nice to draw one. I wonder what it feels like to draw a Cthulhu. I wouldn't know. Clearly. Although, a couple games ago, I knew pretty effectively what it was. Exactly what it was like. Alright, the enemy might have, like, self buffs, or rather minion buffs, so I will put that on Osrook.
Put your faith in the light.
I guess I can sack my own Xeric, and that's fine here. Sack Xeric, get it back, cost another card on it. I don't need to heal that up, it's already gonna die. Hey, there we go.
This way.
Exactly what I was looking for. Not too much you can do about that one, Valdera.
I can do more than just sit here and look nice.
Did that deal 11 damage? Yeah, it did. Ugh. Wicker Flame is going to extend this match so long. Never mind. So that's our 6th boss, which means no treasure selection after this, just card. Miracles is actually really good just because the Radiant Elemental makes all of those extra arms cost absolute 0 on both hits. So I just drop them all really quickly. Having obviously a test subject is incredible. Test subjects plus inner arms, inner arms, inner arms. And keep going like that. Inner fire, it's fine, I guess. Strength within is actually pretty good as well. It's actually really good. I'll take it. Sky Captain Smigs. Deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. Takes 2 turns to reload. That's fine, right? Right? Pretty sure I only care about my buff minions and then they die.
Versus Sky Captain.
I can probably wait until the Sky Captain pops off that hero power.
Must fly again.
What exactly have I happened upon?
Leave that down.
Raiders? In Dalaran?
So I'll probably wait for the enemy to pop off their hero power against my boombots. Go for it.
Trust the pirate's code.
Huh? Can you not? Game. The only target I didn't want to hit was face. You disappoint me beyond belief, game. That makes sense, don't it? Amy will clear my board. Well, hopefully it's expensive for them to do so. Not at all, apparently. Not even slightly. This is awful. This is absolutely tragic.
Are you my master?
It's important I start playing those buffs, though.
Hey, Polly.
And considering the fact that the enemy seems to be pretty aggressive, it's important that I wait for them to run out a lot of their minions here. Do I Holy Nova this turn? It only kills 3 minions, but it does prevent another cannon barrage blowing me up. I have to play around. I just have to start dropping Cthulhu's. I can't afford not to. Oh, very glad that I destroyed the minions as well because of that Bloodsail Howler. That would have been ridiculously annoying. There's a 4/4. Okay. I'm gonna double coin out my Wild Talon Priest here. Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. Okay, at least you only got 1 good pirate out of that, but because you've still got the ship's cannon on board, I'm still pretty sad. What are you getting out here? Hero power?
Oh, cannons fire!
That's fine, I guess. Alright. Hopefully this this Cthulhu keeps us around. Yep. It just hit every minion. That makes up for all of the garbage bomb RNG we've had.
You can be whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Put your back into it.
just having a permanent Xeric around is pretty important. Hey, you can play the hat again. You can leave your hat on.
I know we have more cannonballs.
It's very good. The enemy has already taken Joe Cocker's advice. Alright, there we go. End the game. Whew. That could have gone a lot worse. It already went pretty bad, though.
Cannons. That's it. That's all we've got.
At the moment. I'm not even gonna... Am I not gonna deal with the ship's captain? It seems like I should deal with the ship's captain. Definitely want to do that just for the lifesteal. Enemy is super locked out of the game right now. I really wish I had a way to draw cards, though. Gonna give one of them a hat. Hey, there you go. Ooh, not even gonna try and clear. Interesting. Cthulhu? Well, one of my Cthulhu's has that amount of attack, right? Unfortunately, not all of them.
Defective.
I mean, these have rush. If the enemy didn't attack into the obsidian statue, I suspect they're not going to.
The feast of souls begins.
It's coming. Listen closely.
All right. Your hero balance not back up yet, bud. Well
Bold you are. Yes.
played. Don't have any way to kill
Can't hear you.
after playing Big Boomba, so I'm not going to. All right, final boss up next. We get one more treasure selection beforehand.
I am remembering younger Tagawag before the legend.
Targets chosen randomly means that overpowered isn't necessarily good for playing buffs. Once you play a card this turn, replay it. Targets chosen randomly. Interestingly, I can use that to replay a Cthulhu on the same turn. 2 Cthulhus on the same turn is pretty big. Yeah. This is a 7 cost. I don't want to play a 7 cost. I'll take overpowered. Awaken the Makers is garbage because it actually deprives me of one of the cards I want to mulligan because I don't want to play Awaken the Makers. Summon 7 Death Rattle minions does mean that if this was somehow in play before the Boom got spawned by Dr. Boom, it'd be fine. But yeah, what do I have? 1, 2 Death Rattles in the entire deck? Two Sneeds for only 5 though is pretty good. Our early game is already good enough. I'll take that.
Goblin King. All hat, no candle.
Alright, well, Gallywick takes a copy of the first card we play each turn and gives us a spell in return. The spell is a coin.
Kriziki versus Trade Prince Gallywix.
Must fly again.
You steal from Dalaran? You steal from me.
I'm gonna need to make sure that I keep the coins from the Cache of Cash. I'm also going to keep Awaken the Masters just because I can play it before I want to play a good card, so that the enemy just gets the Awaken the Makers, which is useless for them, right? So that's effectively just to cover my butt while I play my Arcane Anomaly or something like that.
So what do I see here? A whole crew of crooks standing in front of me.
Alright. Could have been a lot worse. Giving the enemy a test subject doesn't matter. But if I am going to give the enemy a test subject and it doesn't matter, that means I should play the test subject on a turn where I'm playing something that does matter, right? You don't want to just mill out unimportant minions in this fight. It's really important, in fact, you don't.
I don't usually like to get my hands dirty, but I gotta protect my investments.
Hang on. We need to get into the serious seating position. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, add a coin to your hand. So I can give the enemy 2 coins with the Case of Cash here. Then I get 2 coins back, and then I play both of those coins. Enemy gets 2 more coins. And they get a 3rd coin, right? So they get 5 coins in hand. They're going to burn a card from their top deck at that, right? But then they have the ability to, you know, mill out onto the field basically anything they want. Overfilling the enemy's hand is actually a really important strat you can do here, because then the enemy doesn't get a copy of whatever you play. But this does give me the ability to just develop a Cthulhu really early. Is that important, though? It might just be Awaken the Makers plus Arcane Anomaly. It is. In that order, so the enemy doesn't get a copy of my Arcane Anomaly.
Deal in the history of Azeroth.
Really wish the Team 5 writers behind the dialogue in this expansion maybe thought a little bit harder about those ones. Well, here, like, whenever your opponent casts a spell, gain a copy of it and give them a coin. And then you get another coin. I can just give my enemy a bunch of coins there. Let's get a sneeze out.
Where's my cat? That's an even trade.
I could give them another coin back with just a single Gallywix to burn the top card of their deck. Well, Gallywix coins don't really matter to me, right? So why don't I just do that?
See, you got something out of this deal.
I can't really do anything about those minions, so I'll just attack face. I mean, with all these burgly bullies, I'm just gonna give you every coin in the world, and then you can never take another one of my cards. Until, of course, you play out all of the coins, but are you gonna?
Where's my cat?
God. Just refill the entire enemy's hand here. Play a Gallywix coin. Enemy's hand is now filled. Drop a Beckoner of Evil. I just want to do as much damage to my opponent's board here as possible. So this attacks this, leaving a 5 HP minion on the board. Kill that myself. And I don't know what I want to target after this until I play a Cthulhu. Both of them the same. Next turn I can test subject Cthulhu on curve as well. Ooh, losing out on Trogzor is really big.
Just a pinch of liquor.
Very, very important for us. The enemy has started to turn around and start to clear the board. That's really important as well. It's fine if I give the Disciple of Cthulhu to my enemy, right? Sure, they get a minion they can use for 2 damage, but gives me the ability to play Cthulhu this turn. And I don't have a normal natural coin to trade them at the moment. I suspect I should trade this off first, though, right? Just in case this minion matters, it doesn't. Like, if the minion mattered for spells cost or something like that, that would make sense. Not even slightly, my dude. Alright. Ooh, you're just gonna use that to buff my Bulva? I mean, bold choice. Again, this is a situation where I want to leave the test subject in hand just so that I have a bad card left in hand. To play whenever that happens to be the most relevant thing. Definitely don't want to give them Big Boomba. Big Boomba is just garbage for this deck. Especially because I got the Scepter of Summoning eventually. Otherwise it could have been fine, I guess. Removal on the Bulba. You gotta feel bad about having to do that, bud, don't you? Well, I mean, come on. It's test subjects. Divine. Inner Fire. A 2020 hitting faces. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. It's okay. Hey, you're finally making some progress on your Amara Warden of Hope now. I'm so glad they didn't have that Van Cleef in hand earlier. Yeah, that's exactly what I expected it was going to be. I chose to attack with the smaller minion because the larger minion attacking, you know, removing that is less perilous to the larger minion Cthulhu. Again, I don't want to give the enemy Big Boomba, so if there's another card that I want to play off the draw, I have to have Nightmare Amalgam in hand. That is to say, if I draw Cthulhu next turn, I play Amalgam Cthulhu. Or I guess Zarek as well. Or... Ooh, hang on. Just try and get as much out of it as we possibly can. Goodbye, Trade Prince. That worked out pretty well, I feel. Hell yeah, just a big old Cthulhu deck.
More gold is being here than all of gold.
Dang it. Okay. So we didn't... Oh no, we did get the second one. Beautiful. And it was casting spells. Great. So we have all of the hero powers for this character unlocked. Hell yes. For the moment though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Hearthstone, the Dalaran Heist. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves and hopefully we'll see you next time.